first part, you saw the inaugural and the first technical session. Today, we will continue with the second technical session and the valedictory session of the event. The second technical sessions of the event was on the advancements in medical technologies in Indian hospitals in Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities.
Our project is Cure in India. Modi ji has said Make in India. We are talking about in the healthcare Cure in India. That means we should be able to provide A to Z treatment in India under the project Cure in India. And the second aspect under this heading is advancements in medical technologies. So each panelist will concentrate only on the advancements in medical technologies, concentrating into two parts. One is imported and second is where indigenization is possible. Because our focus here is if you really want to make the hub, then we have to be the cheapest. We don't have to be the curest. Cure in India, we also have to be the cheapest. And if we have to be the cheapest, then we must have an avenue for indigenous medical technologies. Otherwise, we will not be able to provide a cheap care. And second, concentration on Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities. And because Tier 1 cities involves all the cities, so we should be able to concentrate on Tier 1, Tier 2 cities. And here our focus will be on magnitude of care versus standard of care. Somewhere our discussion has to be what are the magnitude of care should be everything, but the standard of care. And in standard of care, we want to focus on two things, is safety and quality. So if we can provide a safe, quality healthcare services in Tier 1, Tier 2 cities, which is second to none in the world, at the most non-expensive way, then only we will be able to have India as the future global healthcare fund.
So there is basically, the four pillars of innovation, I would like to say. One is the funding, which is very important. Then is the talent and, supportive regulations and also the indigenous manufacturing. In fact, it's been covered by this. So there is a need for a collaborations. So key service providers like government, private care providers, talent pool in the R&D, academics, insurance, industry, service, which need to coordinate.
Advanced technology means screening. I am repeating again, screening. We have to improve our screening standards. Earlier you are able to detect, faster you are able to diagnose, the quicker you are able to treat. Normally the detection and diagnosis is not happening, and that's creating a lot of pressure on the existing hospitals, and that's the problem. So if we just go for the basics, screening, a lot of things will get solved and you don't have to depend on costly medicines, costly cures or even surgeries for that matter.
In India at the moment, we have got, I'll talk about robotics and laser and how much penetration it has gone into the Tier 2 cities or not at all. To give an example, a robot is, I can put it in simple words, that it's a robotic assisted laparoscopic surgery. And in India, we have got about 29 robots, out of which 13 are in Delhi, 4 are in Bombay. Each robot is costing about 14 crores. Lifespan of a robot is about 7 to 8 years. And now we can, during the question and answers, we can take up this topic that what we should do with these, how it should be distributed, and how people are going to be benefited by this. That is robots. Now coming to laser. Laser has come in a very rampant manner in our country. Every hospital, big, small, NABH accredited or not, they have got lasers of different kinds. Laser has been, of course, it's a beautiful technology, modern technology, but please remember, anything which is new is not necessarily good. And in this, we are partly pushed by the industry and partly pushed by the patients. Because patients come and demand, doctor, are you going to do this surgery by laser or not? Whether it's a boil on the face or there are hemorrhoids.
You rightly said that the patients may be international as well as national, traveling from Tier 3 cities, etc., coming to Tier 1 and 2 cities for the treatment. And obviously when they travel, they want best of medical treatment. With the best of medical treatment availability, it has to be at an affordable cost, and then the infrastructure has to be there when the patients are moving from one place to another for the treatment. So far as the medical treatment, the modern medical facilities in cardiology are concerned, I think most of the tier 1 cities are having the facilities which are available in the world-class hospitals.
We have had an absolutely brilliant, outstanding session. Our topic is India Healthcare Hub. We have, according to whatever all of us present here, yes, we have a fair amount of problems. Our moderator has very well pointed those out. At the same time, we have the best doctors under the sun. We have excellent facilities in our area. We only need to work on a few minor things to really make ourselves outstanding and worthy for all our neighborhood as well as African countries for them to get their people and coming here.
And the last session of this event was valedictory sessions in which the dignitaries discuss about the future of Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, Ayush, an industry perspective for promoting its global access.
In this session, we endeavor to focus on the importance of Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, that is Ayush, and how Ayush can be integrated into the existing healthcare program. Friends, India's medical care ranges from traditional practices to the most modern facilities available in the market, which is well received by the nationals of other countries. The traditional use of medicines in the form of yoga, Ayurveda and meditation is gaining importance in the recent times. Though Ayurveda is prevalent in many countries around the globe, the status of Ayurveda varies widely. In some countries, Ayurveda is not being recognized legally as a medical system, and there are countries where Ayurveda is well recognized as a unique healthcare system. We understand that one such country, Excellency, is Sri Lanka, which definitely is doing very well in this field.
Friends, it is indeed heartening to see that Ayush as a sector is being given its due importance by being touted as an integral part of making India a global healthcare hub. The Department of Ayush, that is Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, was given the status of a full-fledged independent ministry recently. The main focus was to upgrade educational standards, quality control and standardization of Ayush in India and mainstream it with the health system across India. This can be achieved by designing strategic interventions for wider utilization both domestically and globally. Integrating Ayush into NRHM, National Rural Health Mission, has the potential of enhancing both the quality and outreach of NRHM, especially with the availability of large number of practitioners in the Ayush field.
Members of the High Table, I am deeply honored to be here, especially at a session like this, where we try to combine our interest and what I call humanism, what we try to retrieve from a very fast-moving world system that is also understood as a total material culture, devoid of humanism. So we are looking at a kind of a symbiotic relationship between human beings and our nature and our life, the very sustainability of our lives. We have to take it for granted and also accept that things cannot happen in a vacuum. Everything is interrelated. I mean, this is why we say even our region, we cannot talk about different countries. When I told that a tragedy befell all of us, we shared the tragedy of Nepal as it is our tragedy, not because it's demarcated as a SAARC region per se. It is a problem of humanity. And how do we remedy these things? Number two is how we look at these things in a holistic way. This whole thing about Ayurveda, the system, is looking at the totality, not in a standalone situation whether it's human beings or anything else. Very often we forget about our own existence in the material world and we take things for granted, but we are very much integral components of all of that. And I'm so glad the Honorable Prime Minister now has made it one of his priority areas about the health and hygiene system. Because we can draw a lot from the past. If you look at the toilet system of the ancient period of the archaeological sites, it'll be stunning actually what they have actually worked on those systems, both India, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. We have a package: nature, education, meditation, Ayurvedic system. So these are very educated people who came. So, and the spas are very good. We are not having very, very large spas, but very good small spas. At that time, we had a whole agenda. We started working, whether the war we were winning or losing. We thought we'd just put it on. And we are very thankful to our friends, especially EU and a lot of other countries that gave us money, large quantities of capital we put into this and invest. And we are now reaping the benefits of those things.
The best medicine can act as a poison if it is indiscriminately administered. A poison, if it is properly administered, becomes a medicine. I'll give a simple example. Before last year, in 2012 or 13, Ayush wrote a letter to industry on the issue of aristolochic acid. There was a big issue, which comes from an Indian plant called Ishwari or Aristolochia indica. In China, there was a lot of issue, and I have given literature simply suggesting that not even one formulation out of 1.5 lakh formulations documented by TKDL contain it as a oral administration. It was used as an antidote. It was used as external application.
The main motto of this event was to bring healthcare experts, embassy, hospital administrations and government bodies on the single platform.
This conference which we had today on India being the future global healthcare hub was a very different initiative of the sort, primarily because of the fact that it was not on medical tourism. I think that was the biggest differentiator. And what we wanted to do in this conference was, which I think we did achieve to a great extent, is identifying the issues which are related to when foreign patients actually arrive in India. It's a very big decision for anybody to take when they decide that they will go to another country for any treatment. Just imagine, I mean, if you have to go to another city within India and for a treatment, for an ailment, how nervous would you be? How many questions you may have in your mind? You might like to go to a city where you know people, where you know the doctors or you have some relatives. But here, there was a very important issue when foreign patients take this big leap of faith to get themselves treated in another country. A country where they may not know the people, they will definitely not know people, they will not know probably the language out there, they will not know the kind of food, they don't know the kind of doctors. So it was very important to highlight these issues of what foreign patients face in the country today.
Here's what the delegates had to say.
And global healthcare is, international healthcare is one of the strong points of India. We have a large number of international quality hospitals, and the healthcare provided by us is among the best in the world.
I would like to advise common people that there should be an integrated approach of medicine, because all the pathies can work correctly with a very good approach. Some pathies can do some work and other pathies can do the other work. So we should adapt all the pathies, allopathy, Ayurvedic, Unani and homeopathy, etc. Yoga, etc. for the common well-being of the whole population.
ग्लोबल के अंदर मतलब है कि कोई भी इंडिया के अंदर में IMA का कॉन्सेप्ट है क्योर इन इंडिया, यानी कि हर उस बीमारी का इलाज इंडिया में होना चाहिए. जिसका नहीं हो, होम्योपैथी भी है आपके पास, आयुर्वेद भी है, नेचुरोपैथी भी है, योगा भी है, सब मिला के ये सिम्बियोसिस आपको पूरे वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं मिलेगी. इसके लिए हमारे को ट्रांसपेरेंसी चाहिए, इसके लिए हमारे को नई पॉलिसीज चाहिए, इसके लिए हमें क्वालिटी एंड सेफ सर्विसेज चाहिए. NABH कंपलसरी मैंडेटरी होना चाहिए ताकि सब हॉस्पिटल्स के अंदर में लोगों को विश्वास हो. प्राइस वेरिएशंस लोगों के अंदर में नहीं होनी चाहिए, ताकि अगर आपकी ट्रांसपेरेंसी और प्राइस वेरिएशन नहीं है और स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ केयर हर जगह का सेम है, मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ केयर में डिफर. आई डोंट केयर कि इसके पास MRI है कि नहीं है. और पूलिंग ऑफ सर्विसेज होनी चाहिए, और सरकार को जो चीज़ इंडिजिनस अवेलेबल है उसमें इम्पोर्टेड चीज़ को रिम्बर्स नहीं करना चाहिए.
I think there should be a whole thing, especially the governments and the private sector must chip in to educate the people. And this is what that has been coming down in our own history in the South Asian region. Gandhiji did that. The Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, is talking about the healthcare system. and to educate and make them conscious why it is so important that we have a healthy mind and healthy body for us to prosper as a nation.
In conclusion, this summit was a great step towards a new era of development with a positive mind.